If you noodle lovers, you will love this dish we're making today. Dan Noodles. It's a type of noodles that's really skinny, very thin noodles, and with a special sauce. And I'm going to teach you how to make them. And some of you might have already tried in some of the restaurants, Chinese restaurants in the US. But if you have not yet, don't worry. And it's so simple. I will teach you how to make it and just a different way of eating your noodles. So we're going to use a little bit of ground chicken and a little bit, about half cup shredded cucumber or cucumber strips. So make sure you use English cucumber because there are hardly any seeds. And then we're going to use 1 tablespoon oil and bean sprouts and a little bit of green onions. Then the magic is my Dan noodle sauce. So you can put them all together just like you do with the spaghettis and come out so unique, so delicious flavor. So first we're going to boil the water and then we're going to cook the noodles. Make sure you have enough water. Like here we have a plenty. I would say probably like 3 or 4 cups, depends on how much you cook. And then we're gonna let the water boil. And if you like to, you can put a little bit of salt or oil so that will keep the noodles getting too soggy. So while we're waiting for the water boiling, we have to make sure the water is boiling before we add noodles. I'm going to cut cucumber. So I can move this out of the way so you can see how to cut cucumber if you don't want to shred it. It's so simple. So we're just going to cut in an angle slices first. So we'll just use a half cup. So this is probably should be good enough. So it is not much cutting, it's fairly simple. And like I said, if you don't like to cut yourself, you can always just shred it. And do you see the difference between the regular cucumber and this cucumber? Hardly any seeds. And then we're just going to cut them thin strips. That's easy enough, right? Now you see the water is boiling, so we're going to put the noodles in. And because the noodles are so thin, you don't really cook very long. It just depends on what type of noodles you're using. And if you don't know, you can just simply pick one piece and try to pinch it. It should be fairly easy to cut it with your finger without getting too soggy. So I'll say this noodles just cook about 4 or 5 minutes in boiling water. And then we're going to rinse in cold water. And then we'll just plate it in a plate and add our sauces and meat together. Okay, I think the noodles is done. It's very fast. We don't want to overcook it, okay? So we're going to put some on my plate. If it's too long, you can cut them before you cook or after you cook with a knife. This is a very popular dish in China, and I know now it's getting popular in the US. So I'm going to move this, and we're going to cook the sauce. So we're going to just add a little bit of oil, 1 tablespoon oil, just a little, so your chicken won't stuck on the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to add our chicken. This is just use ground chicken. Of course, if you don't like chicken, you can use ground beef, ground pork, or no meat if you're vegetarian. That's the beauty of making your own. You can do it whatever way you want. So we just want to make sure it cooks through, not just brown it. We cook through. This will probably take about 2 or 3 minutes, since we don't use that much meat, about half pound. I love to use chicken. It's healthy, it's white meat, and it's delicious. So I also use, beef sometimes. I love beef too, and pork. So when you see almost outside is no more pink, that's when we're just going to add our sauce. So almost there. Like I said, this dish is very, very fast. And now this magic is Dan noodle sauce. Has all the flavors in it. All you need is just like you use pasta sauce, add to the meat, and cook for a couple minutes until it starts boiling. And then we'll just turn off the heat and put on your noodles. So now I think it's ready. Let me put the sauce in. In the restaurant, you have to pay this dish, $11. You can make them for your whole family for that price. It's very economical and delicious. Smell it. It's beautiful. Delicious. It's really delicious. So you can see it started boiling. And then just like to boil a little bit harder. And then we're going to turn off the heat. So then at the same time, we're going to add our cucumber. It depends on how much you like to put on your noodles. I love cucumber. It's so refreshing. And then we're going to add bean sprouts. Bean sprouts, you have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes the bean sprouts is not that fresh. Make sure you find a fresh one. And you can even make your own by using mung beans. And that will be another time. I will show you how to make them. It's very simple. Now, and then we're going to put a sauce. Delicious. Make my mouth water already. It's so then we're going to add, just top with our chopped green onions. Yum! Seriously, try it. It's so good and it's so simple. Why pay $11 for one dish you can make for your whole family? Try it, and I'm sure you'll love it.